Welcome in. It's time for Soccer Over There, live on a Monday night, as we got a lot to get into here on the SDH network. We never sleep. I know y'all don't either. The game never stops. It's what we do. We got World Cup draw to talk about a little bit. We'll try to dig a little bit deeper into everything that happened in DC. The schedule's out. We'll talk about that. We're going to get into Mo Salah and him talking and Arne Slot talking and people not making trips and all of that. We're going to talk about Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid and crisis. And we're going to talk about Champions League. And, of course, we're going to get into a very educational edition of the picks of the week. But let's start with the World Cup draw now that we've had some time to digest it. We know what the groups are. We know what the schedule is. I feel like everybody is griping about something when it comes to this. We also know some additional things about this summer's World Cup, like hydration breaks and things. We'll get into all of that, but what are your biggest takeaways from Friday at the Kennedy Center, John Nelson?
Well, there is no group of death, because of you have 48 now in the field.
You could have had a group of death. It didn't happen. I think you have some difficult groups, but you could have had an absolute group of death.
Yep, I would say that Group I for me was as close as you could have gotten, with France, Senegal, and Norway, and then obviously play-in 2, which would be some combination of Bolivia, Suriname, and Iraq. So
that does not add to the group of death
component. No. So 3
Except
of 4.
For them,
Yes. So 3 of 4 in Group I. I'm intrigued by Group K because of Portugal and Colombia, but Uzbekistan and play-in 1. So if you look at, so playoff 1 would be New Caledonia, Jamaica, and no. So that's not going to happen there.
No.
You've got L, which is England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama. So that one for me has a little bit of spiciness to it. It is not group of death, but it is group of intrigue for me.
Okay.
So I would say that I would be about as close as you get. L is intriguing, and then there are others that might have some rakes that you could step on. But I think that for me, it was Group I that was as close as it got.
I like that you printed these out, old school style.
Oh, absolutely, I did. Well, and I mean, and this was Friday. So for those watching on the video side, this was what I was referencing on Friday, where I had all of the teams. So I'm going to show you. Here's what I had. So I had all of the teams with their alleged rankings and positioning and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So 64 teams, and New Caledonia being 149. Please, New Caledonia, do us a favor and qualify.
That'd be awesome. I'd be all in.
Suriname at 123. Please qualify. Because you're in a different playoff group. So unless, Bolivia, it's okay. So, literally, I'm referencing all of this stuff for all of my groups. And then I had the pot allocation and the seeding so I could follow along here with the UEFA playoffs and all of the pot 4 and all this kind of stuff and all of the guideposts that you had for pots 1, 2, and 4. And apparently they just decided not to have any guideposts for number 3.
That's pretty basic.
And procedures, and just so we weren't tripping all over anything, and so I wasn't tripping over anything more specifically. So you had your playoff matchups, and then you had your grid, and so I'm following along on the grid with the matchups and the knockouts and the appendices and pictures with paragraphs on the back of each one, the 8x10 color glossies. Unfortunately for me, I didn't want to waste any color. So yeah, I'm sitting here mapping it along, and I'm going, okay, slot goes here, slot goes here, slot goes here. What's it going to look like?
You printed out a sheet and then you wrote it in.
Oh, yeah, because there's no space. There wasn't any space to write it in. So, literally, you had the layout of the positions for all of the groups. You had your knockout stage. You had your knockout stage and your bracket once you get out of group stage here. And then you had the layout of where everyone was supposed to be in the appendices in Group B and Appendix B. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, so as the groups go along, here's how it's going to work out. And then you can't go here. Rio Ferdinand apparently had pretty much been over the whole process for quite some time. He's like, no, we got to put this over here, and so he's like, no, this one goes to Group K. And
Rio handled it well. There were people who flew off the handle about teams getting moved, but everything was done correctly. You didn't have any screw-ups, which is what I was worried about because it was very complicated.
Yes.
You didn't get into any of that, so that was good. Shaquille O'Neal did not doom anyone. There was a lot of talk internationally about Shaq pulling Group 2 and gonna give somebody a bad draw. And I don't think anybody's really angry with Shaq. I think Curacao and North Macedonia are angry with Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
That's a whole different topic.
Oof.
Give the man a pronouncer, please.
Just give the man producer, help him out. You're not supposed to leave him hanging there when he's with, it's like it was Macedonia and Caledonia and Curacao or what was
Curacao or something. I don't remember.
But it's like, that's what producers are for. You're there. It was painful. It wasn't even funny that you hung Gretzky out like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, write it on the little card.
Yes, give him a pronouncer.
Give him a pronouncer on the little thing,
and have it on his little dais or something. I was concerned because it was taking Shaq entirely too long to unscrew the canisters.
He had some issues with it. I guess he didn't want to crush it with his
really,
hands.
Which he would have.
It was funny. I mean, I just saw like multiple articles Friday morning, like, our fate is being held by Shaquille O'Neal. Like, okay.
But he's not shooting a free throw. He's just trying to unscrew a canister.
Yes, but he could have really gotten some teams in bad situations. And, look, maybe Morocco is probably the angriest with Shaq about coming out of pot 2 and going into Brazil, but they were going to go in with somebody tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing is I think it worked out after playing with all of the optimizers and things and seeing what you'd get and what you could get and the fake draws and all that. You kind of had a sense, if you did that enough, of the types of groups you would see. Yes, there were possibilities of groups of death. Yes, there were possibilities of all kinds of shenanigans. You got a pretty vanilla draw based on the rules that you had in place and what you could get. No real chaos, no super bad group.
Mm-mm.
You've got some storylines in every one. I think every group, you come out of it feeling like you did going into the day. If you're a pot 1 team, you expect to win your group. Not all of them will. I think it's a little over half that I would say, or a little under half that are in jeopardy of winning their group. Pot 2 teams, the top half are going to feel like, hey, we can take points. We can win the group ourselves. Bottom half are like, we'll be fine. All we got to do is beat the teams below us. We'll be fine. Pot 3, you've got some teams in the upper half who are like, hey, we can get out of this. No problem. We're not worried. And then bottom half, a little more happy to be here. And pot 4, you're happy to be there and you're hoping. And your playoff rounds are going to be what's interesting because you've got some very interesting variants that could happen in some groups and make them more difficult than they are right now. We'll just have to wait till March and find out. So, it's just, it went about like I expected. And I think the schedule did too. And I know everybody in every city is going to have a gripe because you don't get a game that you want. There were 2 games that I would have loved to have gotten here in Atlanta. I mean, we knew, and I told everybody coming into the draw that Group H was the one to watch, and you were probably going to get 2 games with the top seed in Group H. And you did, and it's Spain, and that made total sense because they're going to be here for a couple of matches. It's an easy way for the favorite, the top seed in the tournament, to get started. They can base camp here. Everything works out well. I love that you have the team that is the favorite in Atlanta for 2 games. That's awesome. Okay, we knew South Africa was coming with the way the schedule was already laid out because of Mexico playing their home games and that group being somewhat lined up ahead of time. Not a shock. So you knew they were going to get one of the other teams. They got one of the other teams. We'll wait and see who it is in March. The other 2 games were the ones that I hoped we would get Brazil-Scotland instead of what we got. I hoped that we would get Colombia-Portugal instead of what we got. Okay, we didn't. We got the favorite, and we knew we were getting South Africa because of that group. And then when you project ahead to the knockout rounds, if things go to chalk, you'll have England come in round of 32, and then you'll have Argentina in the round of 16, and then you'll have Argentina in a semifinal.
That doesn't stink.
That's going to be pretty good. So it is what it is. Not every game in a tournament, especially a 48-team tournament, is going to be a semifinal level game. You're going to have games that are actually just first-round games. I like that we have Cabo Verde. I think that's very cool. We're going to tell you a lot of stories about them ahead of that opening match with Spain. I like that we have South Africa because of the connections between Atlanta and South Africa and the Kaiser Chiefs and Kaiser Motong, and we'll get into all of that. as we get ready for the World Cup. I like that we have Uzbekistan,
Yep.
somebody that's completely different and a team that's never been here before, and a culture. Look, I don't know their soccer culture very well. They have a World Cup winner as a manager in Fabio Cannavaro. Lots of storylines there. That game could be critical to decide if one of those teams in it gets out of the group and gets into a knockout. And that's the other element to this that I think is your trade-off. With having some games that maybe aren't quite as glamorous, you have a lot of opportunity for the teams in the tournament because 32 of 48 are going into the knockout round. 8 of 12 third-place teams are going in. If you get 4 points in the group, you're going to the next round. If you get 3, probably all but 1, maybe 2 will go, depending on how all the games fall. 3 points should be enough as long as you don't get blown out in one of the other 2 games. So very interesting. No updates yet on Spain, Ricky, about where they're going to train. That would be the tier 1 potential base camp would be the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta training ground. So that would be my assumption, unless they want something different. Maybe they want to be further away from the city. I don't know. I have not heard anything there. Your other base camps in the area are Kennesaw State. It's the Baylor School in Chattanooga and Mercer University in Macon. So we will see where everybody bases. Spain's the only team that's going to be here twice until later, where that could be Argentina in round of 16 and semifinal if they keep winning. So once you get to that point, we'll just have to see. I've not mapped out where Spain goes into the knockout rounds if they win out. That's way too complicated for a Monday night right now. Top 5 must-watch games during the group stage. France and Norway is probably your big headliner. Norway was the team out of pot 3 that nobody wanted. It was very cool to see the reaction here at the Brewhouse Cafe, as it was a very smart crowd following along as to what they wanted their teams to get. And you had lots of reactions for the various teams that are represented. It was cool to see, but everybody was freaking out about Norway. And I don't think we had a French contingent here on Friday. So nobody got very upset when Norway got drawn into that group. Brazil, Morocco is another one. And I'm very happy that we have Morocco coming to Atlanta, because I think Morocco is a team that could go deep in this tournament. That's one of the rising, if they get to the quarterfinal or better, powers in the game. I'm drawing the line there. That's my line. Brazil, Morocco will be a great one. U.S., Paraguay will be a great one as well to open the tournament here in the U.S. You're going to have 3 opening ceremonies for all of the host countries, we found out. You'll have one at the Estadio Azteca as Mexico opens a tournament against South Africa, a rematch of 2010. You'll have one in Canada, where they could be playing Italy, I believe, in the opener, which is crazy, but I don't know if Italy's going to make it.
The Sweets apparently are anticipating that one for like $114,000 Canadian.
That seems like a lot, John.
So
what's the exchange rate these days?
About 30%.
Okay. Which way?
So 114, 30% of that is 34,000. So you're looking at an $80,000 suite US.
Okay.
So 4,000 if it's a suite of 20 at BMO with the increased capacity, you're talking about $4,000 a ticket to get into a suite.
Go for it. I'm not.
No.
But U.S. Paraguay is one of the big games. Belgium, Egypt is on the list. I mean, that's like the old man group. Because Belgium has a bunch of old dudes.
Yep.
Egypt, and we're going to talk about Mo Salah in a minute. Old dudes. You're asking Mo to do a lot, and he's not doing it right now at Liverpool, and he's very angry about it. What's the rest of that group off the top of your head?
Which group?
Egypt and Belgium.
Oh, Egypt and Belgium is Iran and New Zealand.
Old men.
Yes.
Wood, the striker for New Zealand. Old man.
Bobby Wood.
No, it's not Bobby Wood. He does not play for New Zealand, John.
Oh.
Bobby Wood played for the U.S.
Chris Wood.
Chris Wood. There you go. Thank you. Good job.
And to your point, if Spain wins Group H, first knockout is against the second team out of Group J, Argentina, Algeria, Austria, Jordan.
Yes. Where?
That I don't have.
That was the part I was asking.
Oh, on my appendix.
Because I was wondering if Spain might leave Atlanta after the group stage or not. But we'll figure it out. Don't. Just don't.
I'm just personal. It's personal curiosity.
Dios mío. Germany and Ecuador is the other game on my top 5. Ecuador could upset Germany. I really believe that. Germany, rounded into form. They were not exactly convincing in the qualification run. They got it right at the end, but I think Ecuador is going to be a team that can surprise. I think in general, your South American teams can surprise because I really see a lot of games and a lot of results turning in the last 15 minutes, and you're going to have a lot of people crying about how hot it is.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's going to be a factor. And if you look back to 1994, if you look at 2014, you had more teams from this hemisphere succeed than usual. And I think that the climate is part of that. Now, Germany did win in 2014. They are one that can handle it, but you're going to see some surprises because of that.
First one is at SoFi for.
So they'll go out west. So yeah.
So Spain. Spain goes to SoFi, and then the winner of that one ends up as the winner of 83 and the winner of 84. So, of course, they don't tell you. Oh, here we go. Winner of 83 and winner of 84. Goes to Jerry World.
Okay, yeah. You're going to, if you're Spain, you're leaving Atlanta after game 2 or 3.
Because I'm sitting here and I'm still trying to reconfigure Dallas Stadium. And I'm like, Cotton Bowl? No, Jerry World. So
no, they're not playing at the Cotton Bowl. You know that.
But it's the first thing that pops into my head. Dallas Stadium, instead of Jerry World being the sponsored thing that it is and the known element that it is, since we have to go with the generic names.
But you know where it is because it says literally Dallas Stadium.
Yeah.
So it's in Dallas. Mm-hmm. Actually, Arlington in this case, but I digress. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you for doing things quicker. I appreciate it. I'm trying to think anything else from World Cup. We're going to have hydration breaks in the middle of the half. Thankfully, I've always thought it was extremely stupid to do it after 30 minutes of the half.
Yes.
Because why don't you just do it in the middle? Come on. It ain't rocket science.
No.
So they're going to do that now.
Apparently it is.
It's going to be a mandated 3 minutes, which means you can put a commercial in there.
Yes.
Which means more money.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I don't care. I know people are going to, well, back in my day. I know that's happening. I get it. Get it off your chest. Tell people to get off your lawn. It's all good. Go ahead and do it. But that's just where it's going. So I would assume, actually, you will see other leagues adopt that down the road after this tournament because more money, and you have different climates than they used to be. Just going to leave that one out there for people to chew on, and you're going to need to deal with it.
Yep.
So mandate it. It's a 3-minute break in the middle. It's not a half. You're not truly playing quarters. All of these things, like forget trying to mandate that the coaches can't coach during the 3 minutes. That's not going to happen. It is what it is. It's not that big of a change. It's not that big of a deal. And it's going to make a lot of sense for this competition. And it needs to be, and I think just from the reporting, it will be consistent everywhere, including stadiums with roofs and air conditioning, like Atlanta Stadium during the World Cup. It needs to be consistent. And again, I think you're going to see more leagues do this down the road, and this is going to start a new trend. There is talk about VAR expanding its reach a little bit in this tournament because FIFA can say, we're going to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with one thing that they're talking about doing, which is reviewing second yellow cards. I'm absolutely fine with that. They need to. It turns into a red. You don't want to review every yellow card. Fine with that. But second yellows, that becomes a red. You should review it. And if you decide not to give the second yellow, fine. The reviewing of corner kicks is the other one that they're talking about expanding. And I think with World Cup, this would directly tie into the technology of the ball itself, where they feel like they can do this extremely fast because you have to, because team can take a short corner and move on. I hope they don't hold corner kicks to check them. That's all I want. If you get a chance to check it and your technology of the ball is able to tell you who touched it last, great. All in. That's fine. I don't have a problem with it if it doesn't slow the game up. If you're going to hold corner kicks for it, no, that affects strategy, and I don't want to see that. But it sounds like they're talking about the technology of the ball, so they should be okay in that regard. Anything else from all of our World Cup extravaganzas over the weekend? If you missed it in the schedule portion of the show the next day, There was a public apology to Lionel Scaloni because he was made to wear the white gloves bringing the trophy out. I didn't quite get what was going on with any of that. But if you are a World Cup winning coach or player, you do not have to use the gloves.
Okay.
If you have not won it, you have to use the gloves. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. That was kind of funny. It was kind of cool. There were reports that he was a little ticked off because he wasn't recognized backstage as he was doing it. And they made him put the gloves on, which I'd be ticked off too if I won a World Cup last time out. But all is good with that. I thought that was entertaining. 4-card, no, that's not true. Don't do the Atlanta got screwed out of any good group games. We got the team that is the favorite coming into the tournament twice in Spain. We have Morocco, who is another very good one, in my opinion. The other two, yeah, I would have loved to have gotten Colombia, Portugal instead of Uzbekistan. I would have loved to have gotten Brazil, Scotland instead. And we didn't. And that's okay. Morocco, Haiti, I think will actually be a fun one. And I want to see Morocco up close. I want to see Spain up close. Those were the two decisions, honestly, because once you had it sorted out, well, yeah, 4-card, welcome to a 48-team tournament, but you're still going to have intrigue and you're still going to have drama. There are a lot of those games around the tournament because you have a lot of 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4 matchups. And when you're talking about Spain, they are the ultimate one. They are the number one. So anybody they play outside of if they had gotten a Morocco or a Norway in their group, you could look at it as a cupcake game. It is what it is. That's how these tournaments go. I like how it's built up to where you get to the knockouts and you're looking at England and Argentina twice. I'm happy with how that can go. It is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. I don't think anybody screwed Atlanta intentionally. I don't know if any city is jumping up and down about every single game they got. I'm also a sicko. So, I mean, if you haven't been able to tell from our picks of the week content, I like these random games with some teams that I would never have the chance to see in my city again. I think that's fun. So I like that we will go from Cabo Verde playing playing against the tournament favorites in the bins. I like that we get that, and we will end with the second World Cup semifinal and set the scene for the final. I like that buildup. I'm cool with it.
We're going to have Glenn Davis on the show on Thursday morning, and we're going to break down the Houston bracket and everyone going there, and what he thinks about everyone who's going to be coming to Houston. So I think that it'll be fun to get Glenn's perspective on things when it comes to Houston Stadium. See, now I'm getting into the idea of just calling it City Stadium.
You can just say where the game is. It's in
Houston. It's at NRG.
It's in Houston. You could just say it's in Houston.
Fine. Houston Stadium.
I don't remember half of the sponsor names of stadiums as they change every 5 years anyway.
I'm the other way around. I literally am remembering the sponsor. Then that way I remember that it's in that city.
That's bizarre, John.
Well, I mean, consider who we're discussing.
Yes,
here.
But it's still bizarre.
So it'll be fun to catch up with Glenn and kind of get that perspective. And
hold on, 110. There are no midnight kickoff games on the East Coast that I know of. I'd have to go back and double check them all. I know there's
some 10s,
but they're not kicking off in the East Coast.
No,
they are played on the West Coast, and their later starts there. I'm assuming because I remember one being Japan playing at a 10 or an 11. Maybe I think there are 2 midnight Eastern kicks. Just to clarify, yes, thank you. There we go. Thank you, 110. Look. You're trying to make everybody as happy as possible, and you're not going to. But those are supposed to draw on the TV side, which you're not purely looking at the U.S. You're not purely looking at the East Coast. Now, they need to draw, and that's hopefully the schedule makers did their jobs. I think it was 2 midnight games because I've started to look ahead to what my summer next year looks like, and
it's going to blend together.
It scares me.
Yeah, there's a 9:00 in Philly early, and
Australia is playing one of the midnight Eastern games on Friday, June 12th. Austria, Jordan is one. I don't know Jordan's time zone off the top of my head. Tunisia, Japan is one, so I think that works. Is that the 3? I think that's the 3. from the group stage. I remember 2014, we had one like 10 or 11 kick. And I want to say it was Colombia and Ivory Coast or Japan. Oh, it was Japan and Ivory Coast, I think. And it was actually a pretty wild game. So I'm looking for some World Cup after dark action for sure.
There's some 10 o'clock Easterns in the Central Time Zone, Kansas City and Dallas. They've got.
I'm definitely not going to be sleeping during the World Cup. OG.
No, there's going to be there's going to be a 5-week period where Jason is not going to sleep.
I'm looking ahead to all of the Atlanta Soccer Tonights we will do and trying to figure out on some days where they will fit. And there's some that are going to overlap with games just because there's no way around it. It's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It all feels real now. John, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Who sponsors the Holiday Bowl?
It used to be Pacific Life. I think it's somebody different now. I don't think anybody does, actually. I think it's a sponsorless bowl at the moment.
Okay, fair enough. There you go, Ricky.
I think it is.
He did not say San Diego County Credit
The San Diego County Credit Union. But that's the poinsettia. That was the other bowl that they put in there. Yeah, that was the poinsettia. That was the secondary San Diego.
You tried to out-nerd him, and he out-nerded you.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes.
Look, I mean, Jacksonville State and Troy are playing in the IS-4S military bowl.
Sorry, Jacksonville State. I apologize. Not really.
So, no, of course not.
I am looking forward to the day of the first game here in Atlanta before we move on to Mo Salah throwing things out of his crib.
Yes.
Monday, June 15th, we will start here in Atlanta at noon, Spain and Cabo Verde. Then we will go to Belgium and Egypt, which should be a good game. Then we'll go to Saudi Arabia and Uruguay, which could be a sneaky good game, actually. Yep. 9 o'clock, it's Iran and New Zealand. And at midnight, Austria, Jordan. 5 games in a row. Chaos. All the around-the-corner lager you can handle. You might actually be on the floor if you try to.
Yeah, really?
But anyway, it's possible. Anything is possible. I don't know where Atlanta Soccer Tonight will fit on that day. There's a few days that I'm kind of like,
Atlanta Soccer Tonight will fit anywhere and everywhere.
It will be somewhere. All right, let's put World Cup to bed for now because we will have plenty more to talk about as we go. We are going to get into a lot of different World Cup stories off the beaten path as we prepare for 2026. But one of the big storylines from the weekend after World Cup was Mo Salah giving a mixed zone interview for the ages. If you did not catch the Liverpool comms person behind him as this was happening and the shock and horror on his face as Mo was saying these things, that's where being a little bit like insider baseball and knowing that world and just seeing it play out in real time of, oh, no, I'm going to have to deal with this. Yes, that's what happened. It was crazy. Why? Maybe is the big question here. He got a new contract when? A year ago? 2 years ago? Because remember, and this is what kind of made me laugh about this, and this is where I have flashbacks to things we talk about here on SDH or on AST, any of the acronyms that we hang out at. I remember a lot of talk about Mo Salah not wanting to sign a new contract and wanting all the money and flirting with Saudi and flirting with La Liga. And there was so much talk about him going to La Liga. And at one point it seemed like a foregone conclusion that Mo Salah would go to Spain. Then he signed a new deal with Liverpool. They took care of him. Well, he's not happy.
No.
And what was very entertaining, and a Twitter account that I follow and enjoy, Tactics with an X, they broke down a little bit of this about, according to reports, Mo Salah, when Arne Slot came in, basically made the deal with him that if you allow me to rest defensively, I'll deliver for you offensively. And he did last year, and it worked. Well, same role this year. And yeah, they've had to move things around a little bit because you've had other issues, but he's a good player. He should be able to handle that. But he's generally played the same role. And he hasn't produced. He just hasn't. So what do? Sometimes you bench that player when they're not producing. And then when others start to produce, they play. And these happen. And welcome to the professional game. What's not professional is going into a mixed zone and knowing exactly what you're going to do before it gets started. This wasn't like raw emotional reaction. This was calculated. And it was a bad look for somebody who's a club legend, in my opinion. So why did he do it? He thinks he's been treated as the scapegoat for Liverpool's slump. I don't know by who. Maybe just frustrated in general. He's got 4 goals in 13 games in the Premier League. I don't know what Arne Slot wants from him. I mean, that tactics tweet and kind of those conversations are out there to a degree. I don't know what Arne Slot's asking him to do or what kind of pressure he's putting on him, but when you've produced at the level that Mo Salah has produced at, there will be pressure on you. And that's just how this goes. He definitely wanted to intentionally send a message, and I don't know to achieve what. That's the thing for me. Does he feel like he should be treated differently because he is a club legend? He might feel that way. He shouldn't in this case. The other side of it, why he is not with the team in Champions League this week. He said he basically like set it up to where he would be back when the team plays at Anfield before he goes to the AFCON tournament, and that might be the last time the fans see him. And that's kind of I don't know. I thought it was a very unprofessional message and a very unprofessional act from Mo Salah.
It's like he wants to, and this is going to sound like another couple of situations we had this weekend. So you want to take your ball and go home at that point. That's kind of how he's presenting it. It's like, well, if I'm not playing, then I'm out.
And 110 says he's setting up to go to Real Madrid since they need a mature presence in the locker room. This was not mature, though, in my opinion. And if I'm looking for a mature presence, I'm not wanting to sign somebody who does this. Now, Madrid needs defense is what they need. They don't need another attacker that I don't know where he would fit in. There was talk about him going there at one point, really strongly, and he signed another deal to stay at Liverpool. We're going to get into Xabi Alonso here in just a minute, and this is blown up as well. So I don't know if Madrid's even thinking about Mo Salah right now.
The deal was signed back in April, and he's got 19 months left on it.
Yeah, so you signed a deal in April to stay, and now 6-8 months later, you're freaking out and basically holding a press conference to blast your employers and to blast your coach. Not liking it. Not liking it at all. We'll see how Arne Slot handles it, but it seems like the club is backing him. And it seems like the club is going to stay the course. And if that means that Mo Salah is forced out because he wants to be, that's what it seems to mean. And if they're going to do that, they would do it in January. And where he could go and what he would want, it becomes really interesting because I don't think that was on anybody's radar coming into the season that he could be available in January. So we'll see. No, 110, I don't think it has anything to do with being an African player. I have to thoroughly disagree with you there. That's an assumption that I don't think is fair. I think he has been given the benefit of the doubt. I think getting benched for his form this year is not unfair. I think and this is where you get into this issue that I think he's created now. When you act unfairly and you have a premeditated basic presser to blast your employers, it's the two wrongs don't make a right. Like you have then acted unprofessionally, you have then acted unfair, and you lose the moral high ground in the conversation. I don't think he had it to begin with, but no, I guess what I come back to in this situation, and it's something that comes up with every club and every great player at some point in their career. Father Time's undefeated. And no club should start players based on what they did in the past. If you do that, you are asking to lose. That does not take you very far. There are intangibles, of course. There are intangibles in terms of leadership, and guys can sometimes give you more in the collective than what they produce on the stat sheet at a later point in their career. Absolutely. But he is there to score goals and be dangerous in the attacking third, especially if the conversation is about defending less. and he's not doing that. So when the team has been struggling in the way that Liverpool has, which is a bigger issue than just Mo Salah, you have to try to change it. And I don't think Arne Slot was out of pocket for making that change. I think Mo is out of pocket for this action. And here's where I think the benefit of the doubt comes in. Arne Slot didn't do the things that we've seen other managers do and say about, well, he's got to come in and apologize and he's going to go train with the reserves. All right. He didn't do that. It's basically like, okay, cool. You're not coming on this trip. Not after what happened. It's a cooling off period. Let's see what happens. We get back. Let's figure it out from there. That's giving him the benefit of the doubt. You will give him the benefit of the doubt in coming back from this. You don't give somebody the benefit of the doubt in playing them minutes that they're not earning. That is a very different conversation. Give them the benefit of the doubt in allowing them the grace to make a mistake like this, because that's what it is. You don't give benefit of the doubt in playing guys who don't deserve to play. You just don't. If you do, you're not going to win.
Quoted as saying in this rant of the ages, I don't believe it. I've been in this club scoring more than anyone in this generation. I would say since I came to the Premier League, I don't think anybody scored more goals than me or assists in the whole Premier League. And if I'm in somewhere else, everybody will go to the media and defend the players. I'm the only one that is not in that situation. I remembered a while ago, Harry Kane was not scoring for, I think, 10 games and scored 1-2 goals. Everybody in the media was like, oh, Harry will score for sure. When it comes to Mo, he needs to be on the bench.
So he's upset with the media is what he's upset with. Okay, and that has nothing to do with coaching decisions.
Well, so let's see if it continues. I had a meeting with the manager. He knows my feeling. I thought I'm going to renew here and end my career here, but this is not according to the plan. So, I mean,
I just have to say, like, you can want to end your career somewhere, and sometimes that doesn't happen. And we've seen it a million times in the professional game. You want to do something, and either things don't line up, or your form drops to the point that you can't stay there, not in the same role, you don't accept it. Like, it's what happens. It is what it is. I mean, it seems like his complaints are about how the media has treated him. And sure, Harry Kane's a favorite of the media in England. Of course he is. That's right, wrong, whatever. That's just how that is. I did see a lot of debate about should he be benched and should he not be benched. I did not see overwhelming 100% bench him, he sucks. I didn't see any of that. I did see people going back and forth on it. But that's media. And you don't do this in this way as the response if you feel like you've been treated wrong. Because now you've done something wrong. And that makes it worse, and it's harder to come back from. But again, where he will get the benefit of the doubt, I think, is Liverpool will give him every opportunity to have this get swept under the rug and be forgotten. Now, to do that, he's got to keep his head down and play better.
Produce.
Frankly, just play better. Like, that's what he's got to do. I agree with you, OG. I think this is a really important factor, and it's a hard thing to talk about when you're digging into this about Liverpool and what's wrong. There are some tactical things wrong. There are some chemistry things wrong with all of the new faces. I think your fullbacks are getting way too high up the field, and things are disjointed. But Liverpool's having a huge issue mentally and emotionally after losing Diego Jota. That's going to factor into this, whether it is on the surface or not. It's going to factor into it. It's real. Now, not every player that is factored into this, and maybe this makes it even more complicated in coming together as a group, not every player that's factoring into some of the issues that Liverpool is having as a team were there last year. But you're walking into the locker room that is processing this and trying to deal with it. And that's going to affect a group coming together. It will. So that's absolutely a factor. I don't think it's one factor with Liverpool. I think you have some players who are getting old. You have some players that maybe you gave too much responsibility to at this stage of their career. And I think Virgil van Dijk is going to be another conversation coming. He's still playing well, but he's not what he used to be because nobody is what they used to be. You have some tactical issues with some of the new faces. I think you went out and you spent on some players to spend rather than fit purely, which you didn't need to do. And it's kind of surprising that you did, honestly. And you're not coming together yet. Sometimes it takes longer. They're not going to get relegated. They're still probably going to get into the Champions League spot, although it's not a guarantee, especially if Aston Villa keeps doing what they're doing. Liverpool's going to end up being okay, but how they handle this Mo Salah issue is going to be a big part of that. Final thoughts on Mo, John?
I think he ends up in Saudi Arabia in the January window.
I don't know. It's possible. I'm not up on which teams are really looking to spend right now. I don't know if that necessarily matters when it comes to the Saudi League. They'll put guys where they need to put them, essentially. It's possible if the money is crazy and it becomes untenable, which it could. I mean, that's the thing, is hopefully it doesn't, because I think that will create more distraction and make it more difficult for the team to be successful. But that could be the end game from this. I'm not sure that it is. I'd like to think that he comes back from it and ends his time in Liverpool in a better way. I do think legacy is important to him, because I think that's part of why he lashed out the way that he did. So hopefully it comes around for him and for Liverpool and for the fans from the emotional side of it. But this was a really bad look, and it did bring me back to the weird awkwardness that was going on about him doing a new deal and possibly going to Spain a couple of years ago. And that rubbed me the wrong way at that point. This adds to it, and let's see what happens next.
Yes.
All right, let's go to Champions League real quick. It's match day 6 coming up this week. We got Liverpool going to Milan. Yes, that's 6, John. They're going to play Internazionale. We've got Bayern and Sporting. We've got Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland. Manchester City and Real Madrid. But that game, it's turned in a different way now, because there's reports out of Marca in Madrid that Xabi Alonso's job is on the line. It was just a couple of weeks ago that we were talking about, man, Xabi Alonso, Vinicius Jr., Vinny's going to have to get his head right here. This is going to turn really bad for him. Well, now it might turn the other way.
Yes.
2-0 loss to Celta Vigo. You've got sources inside Madrid who are talking, and that happens all the time in Madrid. Welcome. They're not confident that Alonso will survive if they also lose to Manchester City. Reportedly, there were internal meetings on Sunday night. Madrid have taken 6 points from their last 15 in La Liga. They were 5 points clear when they beat Barcelona, now 4 points behind and vulnerable to Villarreal. You had multiple red cards in the loss to Celta. Fran Garcia, Alvaro Carreras, and 19-year-old Endrick, who has just been a mess all the way around because he can't get on the field, and he gets a red from the bench. Home fans were jeering the team. You've got the board now, the Vinny part of things about where there's a disconnect. Now that seems to be not just him, and the board is believing that some of the squad aren't buying into Xabi Alonso's ideas. But my question to the board would be, well, you knew what those ideas were when you hired him. So, yeah. Alonso has tried a lot of different things. I remember reading recently that they had tried traveling to away games the day of the match. Then they went the night before to one match, and everybody got all pissy about it. He gave the team 2 days off earlier in the week, and that made people mad because it didn't work out. It feels like he's trying different things, and it's just not working. Madrid should get Lane Kiffin. That would fix everything, D. Graham. Lane Kiffin in Madrid would be amazing. Eder Militao, he's out for 3 to 4 months with an injury. The back line has been bad for years, and now you've got another issue. That has not been addressed properly. The signings that they brought in have not fixed it. Ricky, as Ricky says here, it's the Real Madrid Castilla manager. Yeah, he'd be the leading candidate to replace him in the short term. I don't think he would be the leading candidate to replace him in the long term. Marca talked about Zinedine Zidane, who reportedly is waiting on the World Cup to end to take over the France job. So that would be more of an interim thing as well. Jurgen Klopp, because everybody mentions Jurgen Klopp about every big team that has an opening. I don't know if Klopp has any interest in doing it. This is what Madrid does, though. The Madrid job becomes possibly open, and every big name manager's name gets floated and talked about, and it is every college football storyline you can imagine rolled into one. That makes this game really big on Wednesday because this thing has turned, it feels like, really fast to where Xabi Alonso's job is on the line. I think it'd be a gigantic, horrible mistake to fire him that quickly unless you are just going to be, and look, it's worked for them really well over the years, but if you are just going to be Vibes FC, if you're going to hire a manager who is just about not really all that tactical, about relationships, just get the best talent and go out talent people. And if you keep doing that, okay, I mean, that can work to a point. I don't think that gives you the best chance to win consistently. I think that it can work. Carlo Ancelotti was a one who did a really good job with it. And then it went away from him last year as well. I don't know if, and Ricky Ricardo says it feels like Frank de Boer here in Atlanta in 1920. Possibly, I think you had cultural issues at play here because you had a manager who did not have a cultural foundation with a lot of the players in his locker room, where that should not be the case with Xabi Alonso in Madrid. I do think the disconnect idea with the locker room is valid. And I think there could be the element of the players feeling like either, and what it seems like has been hinted in the media, is that they are being asked to do too much, essentially. I don't think that issue was what it was with Frank and Atlanta. Did players buy into tactics? Maybe not. That's normal. That happens everywhere at different points. This feels different because it seems like Xabi wants, I don't know, crazy idea, his attackers to defend high up the field, which is kind of where everybody is doing right now.
I mean,
and they don't, and they're not. And his defense is not any better than it was, and that's part of why it's not any better, because they get put under so much pressure. I don't know the fix here outside of, I mean, if you're Madrid, you're looking at one of two options here. You do what you've done many times in your history. You run a manager really fast, and you go make a giant splash. Okay. I mean, your splashes, your splashes would be Zinedine Zidane or Jurgen Klopp. I don't think there's another splash out there. You're not going to bring Jose back.
No.
There's nobody else out there available that you would bring that would be a positive splash. There's nobody. There's not one. Roberto Mancini's not going to get that for you. There's not somebody that is the magic fix.
He just wants to get paid and kind of seeming like not put a whole lot of effort into it.
Whatever. There's not that guy. So if you run Xabi, you're going to get worse. You need to stay with him and build up a tactical profile. Yes, you need a massive name who has a history of managing big personalities. I agree. But your big personalities also need to get on board. And that is not easy to do. And sometimes good managers end up losing jobs because of that. But the team is what's going to fail in the long run, because Xabi Alonso will get another job and he'll be just fine in the long run. He'll learn from this and maybe manage big star players differently down the road. I think they need to keep him as well, but I'm also very historically, I generally lean to what the manager is trying to do, because I think they have the plan. And they, in this case, Xabi Alonso absolutely has a plan and I think is trying to do the right things. Is he failing in convincing his players of what needs to be done? And that could be it. And that's a personality thing that he might need to improve and get better at.
Only one win in their last 5. Yeah, 1 win, 3 draws. It's like, you said, they've only lost once in their last 5, but they've only won once in their last 5. So they're 1-3-1, and right now 4 points behind Barca, Villarreal only 1 point behind them in the standings at 35 points, and they've won 5 in a row to get to where they are. And Atleti has played, and they've also got a match in hand. Atleti's played 16, and they're at 31 points, and then you start to get more spacing as you go down to the ladder from fourth.
If you're already getting this bubble up, though, yeah, I mean, Ricky, you've seen this. You've been through it. Madrid fans know how this goes. So if you're already seeing this bubble up and it's in Marca like this, it doesn't get there by accident. It's there for a reason because some people on the board want it to be there. So if he does not get a win in this match, it's going to be a problem for him.
Yeah.
And I think the club would be worse off for it, at least in the short term, at least for the rest of the season. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be very interesting. So that's a huge storyline on Wednesday. Madrid and City. Haaland has 9 goals in his last 9 games against Spanish teams. Madrid, 13 wins in their last 14 home group matches. Let's go to Bayern. They're hosting Sporting of Portugal. They have never lost to Sporting in Europe. They've only given up 1 goal in their history against them. They've been a little uneven domestically after that long winning streak. You kind of expected them to come back down to earth a little bit. Liverpool is in Milan to face Internazionale. Liverpool needs a reset. And we'll see how they respond to the Mo drama and handle things. Maybe the trap match of the round is Olympiacos and Kairat Almaty. Kairat's got 5 clean sheets in their last 6 home games in European competition. They haven't won, but they've been elite defensively. So that's one to keep an eye on. And you're getting to that point where those kind of games are vital because of the seeding and getting into the knockouts and getting into the next round.
Kickoff temperature apparently is going to be 18 below Fahrenheit.
Yeah, that's cold. That's really cold.
So if I'm Kairat Almaty, yes, I'm a dog at plus 552. Mm-hmm. And Olympiacos is a prohibitive favorite at a minus 204, but I'm looking at Kairat Almaty's defense. I'm looking at the temperature, and I'm looking at Olympiacos stepping off the plane and sitting there going, nah, this is no. So I'm leaning toward anything involving Kairat Almaty, if not a draw, to start things off with that one.
Well, that's not in picks of the week, John.
But still.
It's not.
Damn it.
Not in picks of the week.
Damn it.
I'm trying to think of anything else that popped off over the weekend. We got a Liga MX final that starts on Thursday. Tigres and Toluca.
Did you see the ankle break?
Which one?
In Liga MX.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, it was.
I don't want to. I try to avoid those.
No, you don't.
Because my ankles are horrific. So anything ankle related, no. I cringe.
It was a player from the outside trying to maintain possession, trying to send a pass further up at about a 45-degree angle, hits the player right on the outside of the right ankle. And because of the force of the blow, it caved the ankle inward. And no, don't go watch it.
Not good.
No.
Not good. I thought I saw one that was Milan that was similar to that. But, yes, Sergio Ramos is leaving. He's leaving Monterrey. We know that much, Ricky. More than likely leaving Liga MX. Be curious to see where he goes. I don't know. I mean, I don't see him coming to MLS. We've talked about this. He could definitely get a payday in Saudi if he wants to. I don't think there's a spot back for him in Spain. Although sadly, Real Madrid could probably use him at center back these days. I don't know. What's up, Alex Pacine? Thank you for joining us. So Liga MX, that final starts on Thursday. It's Thursday and Sunday. There we've got the FIFA Intercontinental Cup this week with Cruz Azul and Flamengo. We'll get into that here in just a little bit. That is in the picks of the week. We have a final set in Argentina, and Racing continues on. Santiago Sosa posted that the team had eggs, and you can take your translations wherever you want on that. They got through with 2 reds from the previous game. Santi did not play against Boca. They grinded out a result. Boca getting eliminated means River is out of the Copa Libertadores for the first time in 10 years. It will be Racing and Estudiantes who got the win today. Yeah, mute button, John.
Well, I mean, I was eating. I didn't want to be rude. It It was in the Tigres Cruz Azul match. Angel
I don't need to
Correa.
see it.
No. I'm just saying Angel Correa
That's not good.
tried to send a shot in, and it literally went off the outside of Chiquete Orozco's ankle as a shot on goal.
I don't need to see it.
No, you don't.
I don't want to see it.
87th minute, and people are wanting a sanction on Angel Correa for his shot on target.
They were wanting a sanction?
Yes, they want him suspended because fans of Cruz Azul basically said, he did it on purpose. He broke Chiquete's ankle with that shot on purpose. He needs to be sanctioned / suspended. And there was a lot of hand-wringing and angst and finger-wagging.
That makes absolutely no sense.
No, it doesn't. But when you're desperate in a situation like that, you're going to try and grasp at anything.
Okay. I still don't understand what happened. But no, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Your explanation left me wanting there. Sorry.
All right.
I did not understand what you were getting at. It's Mexico. Crazy things happen in Liga MX, that's for sure. All right, we got to get into picks of the week. So let's go back to last week and what happened with last week's selections. Let me pull that up. We don't have a sounder yet. We will probably to start 2026. We'll get some Christmas gifts under the tree.
So like picks of the week. So you yell out picks of the week and you do an air horn?
No. Tuesday, our first game was in the Copa del Rey, second round. We went to Spain for Guadalajara and AD Ceuta. Wednesday, we went to Liga MX for Monterrey hosting Toluca in the first leg. Thursday, we went to the Seychelles for Bazar Brothers against Bel Air. And we went to Brazil for Cruzeiro and Botafogo. Friday, we went to Bangladesh for the Brothers Union hosting the Bashantara Kings. Saturday, it was MLS Cup. Sunday, we went to Ligue 1 for Auxerre and Metz, and then also to Italy for Napoli and Juventus. And our prop bet was in Liga MX, goals in the semifinals, the 4 matches. So here is how things went. Game 1, only Nick and Drew got the upset to start things off. Guadalajara got it done in Spain. They were the lower seed from the lower division in the Copa del Rey. They were the big underdog. They won at home over AD Ceuta. So Nick and Drew started things off with a win. Nick doubled down with Rayados winning in game 2. A bunch of other people got that as well. Game 3, Sofia was the only one who got the draw between the Bazar brothers and Bel Air. Game 4, it ended up in a draw between Cruzeiro and Botafogo. Nobody got that. So at the midway point, it was Nick on 465. It was Sofia on 280. It was Drew on 110. And then everybody else was negative. John and I were at minus 45, and Maddie and Jarrett had not gotten anything right. Game 5, Maddie and Jarrett still had gotten nothing right.
Then it turned.
Just randomly yelling. That's what you're doing, huh?
No, I'm staring at the board.
Yeah, but it's called a spoiler, John.
Mm-hmm.
I was setting a scene. I was painting a picture.
I didn't say who it turned for.
John, I'm going to mute you, okay? Spoiler alert. Good grief. So, game 5.
That's where it turned.
Good grief. Bashantara Kings won, and Sofia and I got that right. So it didn't really turn because Sofia just went into the lead ahead of Nick. Nick didn't get anything else right until we got back to Napoli at the end.
Of course.
Game 6, Maddie still didn't get that right. She was minus 600 at this point.
Wow.
She didn't get the last 2, though, so points to her. Game 6 was MLS Cup. The only people who picked Miami in regulation were me, Jarrett, and Drew. The rest of y'all were out thinking it. You were overthinking it. You double crossed yourselves.
Triple posts.
Just no, but
double crossing.
No. Miami was going to win, and they did. That's what I told you, and that's what happened. Game 7, we went to Liga for a bottom of the table clash, and Auxerre won that one.
Wow.
I got that right. I kept the winning streak going. That's where Madison finally got on the board and got that correct. Everybody else got it wrong, and I had it sealed at that point, and Napoli just put it over the top. So I finished with 8-11. Nick got that one right, so he rebounded to 395. Sofia at 230, and everybody else was negative. So I apologize on behalf of the team here at Soccer Over There for so many people leading you into bad choices. Over half of the group finished negative, and that is not acceptable around here. Drew was only negative by 14, still not acceptable. John, you were negative by 115, not acceptable. Maddie, minus 170. Jarrett finished last, minus 194. Not acceptable. Nobody got the prop. It was 10 goals in the 4 games. I had 9. Maddie had 11. Jarrett had 11, but we missed it. We were on either side of it. So, 4 card, you got 876. Good job. Good job. No, Alex, no. You shut your mouth. I'll mute you too. I think I can. I'll figure out a way, one way or another. So, yes, I won, and I've won now 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Jarrett has won 3 times.
Correct.
We are dominant when it comes to picks of the week in terms of winning the week.
We're going to get a happy dance out of you or something?
No, I don't do happy dances. I expect to win, John. That's how things go around here.
There's nothing wrong with expecting to win and then still being demonstrative about it.
No. You act like you've been here before. This is just normal operating procedure.
Why do you think my promo was so short when I won?
But it's you. This is not normal operating procedure for you. You've won 1 time.
Yeah, and when I cut my promo for winning that 1 time, I cut my promo like I'd been there before, and I just said, I won.
But you had not been there before. That's the point. That was your first win.
So what you want me to do?
No, I don't want you to do anything. I'm just saying your logic is faulty.
It is not faulty.
You said you acted like you had been there before.
However, I didn't make a big deal out of winning by just saying
before.
I won.
You had not been there before, and you haven't been there since, and you finished negative this week.
Unacceptable.
It is. It is unacceptable. I expect better out of you people. Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Yes, I won, so I got to pick all the games this week.
And he's not even going to cut a promo.
No, I don't need to cut a promo, John. This is normal. This is what happens. Jarrett doesn't cut a promo. He's won 3 times. I didn't cut a promo. I've won 3 times. That's what winners do.
Winners keep winning?
Yes. Winners keep winning.
And don't give the soundbite in the press conference?
Typically not.
Hey, we won. We expect to do that. What would Curry do in a situation like this?
Exactly what I'm doing. On to the next.
We expect to win. That's your promo. We expect to win in these situations.
What did I just say? Normal operating procedure. This is what happens. 4 card, you shut your mouth too. Is it Walter and Stadler, or is it Stadler and Waldorf? Waldorf. That's what I thought.
Stadler and Waldorf.
I'll yell at everybody. I won this week, so I can yell at all y'all.
See?
All right.
See, on this, and that's not cutting a promo.
No, it's not cutting a promo. It's just talking.
So yelling at people because you won is not cutting a promo.
No, it's not cutting a promo. Cutting a promo is drawing a whole bunch of attention to myself and saying a bunch of funny things, or yelling, or making a funny sound effect or a silly voice. I don't need to do that. I win often. You should be used to it by now.
So then when I cut a promo on those instances when I do win, and the promo is basically I win and acting like I've been there before, that's
are you calling that a promo? Because that's not a promo.
I'm not even calling it a promo. I'm just saying in that slot in the rundown where you get to cut the promo.
John, let me fix this for you. Let me fix this real quick for you.
Yeah.
You know how that works? You win more than once. That's how it works. When you win more than once, then that kind of shtick works. When you finish negative, no.
But then why? Then considering that I've only won once, and my history of winning is very, very
I don't know,
low
Ricky.
anyway.
My head's spinning as well.
So when I do win,
you should have been very excited when you won, because you don't do it often.
I was excited, but I was treating it matter-of-factly.
Okay.
I was acting like I'd been there before.
So then why are you trying to push me into doing a performance piece when I've won for the 3rd time?
I didn't know if it's a performance piece, if it's a performance piece. I was not aware of that as a part of.
We've done this show before. I've won twice already this season. This is how it works.
Some days you might be able to surprise some folks. And
No,
sit there
I'm
and
not
go,
going to
hey,
yell, "Let me tell you something, Mean Gene." Will, it's not going to happen. And hi. And
let
I'll
me
yell
tell
at
you something,
too.
Gene Mean.
No, I'm not doing that either.
Oh,
I won
come
picks
on.
of the week. That's basically what happened for the third
So
time this
so
season.
he does it and it's normal. I do it and it's apparently abnormal.
No, I didn't. John, I don't know what you're doing here. No, it's not abnormal to not cut a promo when you win. I did not say that what you did is abnormal. I said that works better when you win more. That's my point. Just win more.
So you get mad at me when I cut a promo when I win, and then now you're laughing at me when I don't cut a promo.
No, John. Let me be very clear on what I'm laughing at. I'm laughing at me winning 3 times and you winning once. I'm laughing at you being negative this week. The promo business, I don't care.
Why are you laughing at me being negative, considering my track record of being negative?
Because it's still funny every time.
I'm not denying that either.
But I can't. I give up. I don't even know what game you're playing at this point. I've not caught up with Jarrett in overall value yet. Jarrett's fallen off in overall value a little bit. No, wait, sorry, he hasn't. Nick fell off. My bad. I'm mixing them up. Jarrett finished negative this week, so he dropped
I'm
a
dead
little
blanking
bit.
last now.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought it was just this week that I was in the negatives.
You let me start over. Just win more, John. Just win more. How about that?
Okay.
Just keep it there. Just keep the energy right there.
All right.
Don't finish last. Don't be last.
See, that's
in the
pep
overall
talk
table.
I need. Don't finish last.
Don't
Nelson.
be last.
Don't be last. Nelson.
Try to actually win some.
Don't be last.
I mean, Maddie hasn't won it all yet, but she's at least not last in the overall points.
Apparently, Florida State has scored with 3 minutes to go in regulation, and they have a 1-0 lead in the women's NCAA championship.
Yeah, that part was important.
Wow.
Okay, good. They have a lot of Georgia players, so I'm hoping they win. I did not add up the final totals, including this week. I'm gonna just eyeball it. I'm at like 2,500. Maddie's at like 2,500, right around it. Jarrett's at about 4,100.
4,200. 4,394 minus 194. It's easy. 4,200.
4,200. Thank you, John. Good, you can do that. You can't ever add the things when you used to be in charge of this.
Nope.
Sophia's at 21. John, you are at 16 and some change, which is embarrassing. Nick is at 40. He's right there with Jarrett. They're really close. I think Nick is right behind him by just a few points. And Drew is at 2,202. So I got out of the hole. I wasn't doing all that great in the overall total, but I've won 3 times. That's what's important. And John, you're in last. Not in last in wins. You're one spot above that, but you're in last in the overall total. So work on that.
Just win more.
Yes. Yes, just win more.
Just win more. Okay.
4 card. I don't know if you've won 3 times, though. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You are ahead of me in overall, but I've won 3 times. I'm very up and down in my overall pick. Yes, Will. I'm not very sad. I'm actually happy for Alan Carlton. He got sold to a Nordic club.
Second division, and we are efforting an interview with said club once he goes over in the next couple of weeks.
Very cool. Very cool. Really happy for his success. I think I've caught up on everybody, so we can actually get into the picks this week. Unless you have anything else you'd like to clarify, John.
Eat hot food quickly in cold weather. Otherwise, it gets very, very cold very quickly. And so cold food and cold weather really doesn't mix.
Good job. Picks of the week.
I mean, I'm trying to balance, information and
Picks of the week.
Picks of the week.
I got a few good ones in the educational portion of the show, thankfully, to try to redeem this.
Oh, and secondarily,
yes.
If anybody missed the Roots,
yes,
that was a fun education this week.
What was your education?
Give
them a sample.
We found out about how long it took for Australia to create a second division.
How long did it take?
About a decade.
Okay.
And they finally got it on the ground, and they now have their first ever champion in said division.
And they play a different schedule than the A-League, like calendar-wise.
Yep.
Which is weird.
So we found out.
We're about to have that too. So.
Yep. So we found out about that. We found out about promotion and relegation of the Brasileiro.
Yep.
And
yeah, that got weird yesterday. Internacional was out at one point and then came back in the last 20 minutes, I think.
Yep, they beat Bragantino 3-1, yeah.
That didn't get them in. They were winning and they were out. It was Fortaleza falling apart is what took them out of it.
And Ciara was out of the relegation zone entirely for the entire season until the last plays of the day. So we go through all of that.
Them and Fortaleza who dropped, and Internacional took advantage of
Santos made it. They won 5 in a row.
Neymar
absolutely meniscus.
Yeah, but he absolutely put the Superman cape on, and you got to give that man credit for that. Got it done. He's going to have knee surgery. They stay up.
They got into the Sudamericana.
Yeah, they're into a Sudamericana. Well, like 14 teams get into the Copa Sudamericana in Brazil. It's a little slanted.
Yeah.
But yes, wild day in that. Check out The Roots. It's on the SDH podcast side of things. You can click listen at soccerdownhere.net. You can get it on your favorite podcast provider. You can get it on YouTube as well as a podcast. Let's go to Tuesday for picks of the week. That's what I just said. Atalanta hosting Chelsea in the Champions League. Atalanta plus 230, draw plus 260, Chelsea plus 110. Here's your educational portion of the show. Atalanta, they were founded in 1907 by students in Bergamo. They merged with another club, and that's what got you the black and blue identity that they're known for. They were a yo-yo club for a long, long time, and now they've kind of solidified, and they're one of the top teams. They are named after the Greek mythological heroine Atalanta. The club's crest has featured her profile for over 60 years. Nickname, one of them is the goddess, Ladea. There you go. So far this season, they're kind of inconsistent. They got a home league win over Fiorentina, a Coppa Italia win. They've dropped some points. They've been a little bit all over the place. They're mid-table, 12th in Serie A, 7 draws in 14 matches. So, like, it feels really close, but it hasn't quite all come together for Atalanta. They've never played Chelsea in a competitive match before. Chelsea. We've done a lot of the history stuff with Chelsea. The thing that I had kind of forgotten about with Chelsea, we think of the Roman Abramovich era and we think of Chelsea as a blue blood now. But you go back to the 80s, the early 1980s, combination of poor results, bad attendance, hooliganism, which was really bad at Chelsea, mismanaged redevelopment plans. They were on the brink of collapse.
Oh, wow.
Ownership had separated the Stamford Bridge side of it from the football club itself. A property development group tried to seize the land for commercial construction. Chelsea looked like they could become homeless or ground share or rebuild outside of London. You had legal battles. The team went into the second division. Finances got worse. Like, this is the early 80s. They were in a really bad spot. If you ever get a chance to read up on the history of Paul Cannaville, like, read his story. I remember him telling me when I met him, he does a lot of great work with his foundation, telling me about when he made his debut. He was the first black player to play for Chelsea, and he was warming up, and he heard racial insults coming from the crowd, and he thought it was the visiting fans, and it wasn't. It was Chelsea's fans at that time. Totally changed, obviously, the club. The situation finally stabilized once you got to the early 90s. Ken Bates, he bought the club for £1 in 1982. He got full control of the stadium side of it and the club. That prevented them from losing the stadium and gave the foundation for Abramovich to come in and take it to where it's gone now. They are in 5th in the Premier League. They're 8 points off of the top of the table. Current form's a little mixed. 3 straight without a win after their 3-0 win over Barcelona last time out in Champions League. Again, no games with Atalanta before. So we have Atalanta and we have Chelsea. I would let Gattuso describe Atalanta form, Will. That is absolutely valid. He would nail it. You know what he says. You know the line. John, what are you picking?
I'm going Chelsea on the road.
You're going Chelsea on the road. I'm going Atalanta at home. I would like to see, Ricky, a summer preseason ATL Cup with Atalanta, Atlanta United, Atlante from Mexico.
Cup ATL.
There's at least, or we could have Atlanta from Argentina as well, second division. I think there's one more. that I'm forgetting? That'd be cool. All right, let's go to Wednesday. It is the FIFA Intercontinental Cup in Qatar. Cruz Azul and Flamengo. This is the Club World Cup-ish stuff that they do in non-Club World Cup years as FIFA reimagines their calendar. Cruz Azul is the underdog big time, plus 475. The draw is plus 300. Flamengo, minus 187. Cruz Azul, founded 1927 in Hidalgo by workers of the Cruz Azul Cement Cooperative.
Mm-hmm.
Shocking, I know. What are their nicknames? Los Cementeros, the cement workers. La Máquina is what they're better known as. Third in the Apertura, they were eliminated in the semifinals of the Liguilla over the weekend. They won the Champions Cup in CONCACAF. That's why they are playing in this match. They've never played Flamengo in a competitive match. Flamengo, founded in 1895, originally as a rowing club. I think we've talked about that before. They grew in a big way nationally during the kind of radio era of the Brazilian top flight. They would play at the Maracanã and have over 100,000 people at games. One of their greatest players, and if you do not know him, it is time to hit the YouTube, Zico. Zico was incredible. Won the Copa Libertadores and the Intercontinental Cup in 1981. The Mengão. They won the Brazilian top flight this season. They won it in the next to last round. So their 3-3 draw against Mirassol over the weekend didn't matter for anybody except for Mirassol.
That's a great story, too.
Yes, Mirassol is a great story, but they are not in the picks of the week. You're going to have to share that on the Roots.
I did last week.
Well, you can share it again and go deeper into it. So Flamengo's in a great spot. They are the big favorite here. John, what are you picking?
I am picking Flamengo.
I am picking Flamengo as well. That's where I'm going. Also on Wednesday, we are going to Ecuador. Independiente del Valle and Liga de Quito. This is the Ecuador Liga Pro Serie A Championship round. I'll get into it in a minute.
Thank you.
Independiente del Valle plus 140, draw plus 225, Liga de Quito plus 170. Independiente del Valle, founded in March of 1958. It took a while for them to turn into what they are now. Their stadium, the Estadio Banco Guayaquil, it features views of I think it is the Ilalo volcano. So you can see a volcano outside of the stadium.
That's
for
cool.
Independiente del Valle. Yes.
That's pretty cool. As long as it's a dormant volcano.
I do not know if it is or not. Ricky, I don't know if those that would be in the second division of the preseason ATL Cup with Atlantis in Finland and Atlantico in the Dominican Republic and Atlantis in Lithuania.
Oh, yeah, that's the play-in round.
That's the play-in round. Independiente del Valle is also known as the Mata Gigantes, the El Mata Gigantes, the giant killer, because they have upset bigger clubs. Between 2016 and 2022, Independiente del Valle eliminated 7 clubs that had previously won the Copa Libertadores, more than any other Ecuadorian team in that period.
So they're like the Randy Orton of that league.
Yes, they are the giant killers, yes. So the reason why I said I would explain this, the championship round, Ecuador has been led down the wrong path, probably by Jarrett Smith, in having a split in their season. It's stupid, it's dumb, it's moronic, it's terrible. They have it. They split it into 2. They overhauled their season to add 72 extra matches and create a 2-phase league.
72 matches.
Not for each team, 72 across the board. All 16 teams. So that's one reason why, is you're trying to get to a good number of games. They have 16 teams. You play a full double round robin first stage. That's 30 games. After which the table splits into 3 groups. They do a triple split. Championship hexagonal, the top 6. A Sudamericana qualification hexagonal. And a relegation quadrangular. Points carry over from the first stage. The top team automatically earns a Copa Libertadores spot. The bottom 2 in the relegation group drop. So, Independiente del Valle, over the weekend, they secured the league title. And they got a little help on the final day. They did not win. But their opponents, Liga de Quito, did not win either. So that's why Independiente del Valle, with 3 games left, have a 10-point lead. They are your champions. So that makes this match a little more interesting because what happens? They've already won.
Yep.
Liga de Quito, they were founded in 1918 from the Student Athletics Department at Central University of Ecuador, one of the country's oldest continuously operating clubs. They have worn the all-white kit since their amateur beginnings in 1918, symbolizing unity and academic purity tied to the university identity. So they've kept that identity all the way through. That's pretty cool. They were the first Ecuadorian club to win the Copa Libertadores in 2008. They won the Recopa, like the Super Cup, in 2009. They won the Sudamericana in 2009. They won the Recopa in 2010. The split is not proper soccer heritage. It is stupid, Will. I hate it. It's moronic. They don't even do an even split because why? They have a 6, a 6, a 4. It's crazy. Stop it, Ecuador. Stop it.
Oh, man.
Los Albos are Liga de Quito. They're also known as El Rey de Copas, or La U.
King of Cups.
They finished 4th in the season of 30 games. They've climbed into 2nd after the split. Really good at home, but they've been bad away. They had a 7-game unbeaten stretch. That's where they were trying to catch up to Independiente del Valle. Nope, not happening. This has become a rivalry. It really wasn't for the longest period of time, but it's become one with these two. So you have a team that's already won the title. You have a team that cannot win the title now. They play one another for pride. What are you picking?
A draw because of that.
You're picking a draw?
Yep.
I am picking Liga de Quito because I expect Independiente del Valle to be hungover. That's the kind of analysis you get here on Soccer.
See, that's what I'm saying. Fantastic analysis.
Something like that.
Game don't matter. Draw.
Probably, OG. You can see volcanoes from just about anywhere in Ecuador. That might be true. Thursday, let's go to the Europa League. Let's go to Celta Vigo hosting Bologna. Bologna on the road plus 210, draw plus 220, Celta Vigo plus 135. Celta Vigo, founded 1923. Merger of 2 Vigo clubs, and they wanted to create a team strong enough to represent Galicia. They reached the Copa del Rey final 3 times, 48, 94, and 2001. Their stadium almost went completely under in the mid-'80s, or this would have been the late 70s, early 80s. But luckily, it was renovated ahead of the 1982 World Cup, saved the stadium, revived the team, revived the game in the city. Then they went on to an era where they're known as Euro Celta, where they became a consistent force in UEFA competitions, like this one. They're known as Os Celestes, the Sky Blues. Current season, they're in 10th in La Liga. They're in 10th in the Europa League as well. A lot of really tight games. You know, that's really mid-table in league. That's right in the middle. So not a shock here. What's weird with them, and they're at home in this, they have not won at home in La Liga in 8 games this season. They've been great away, 3rd best in the league on the road. But in Europa League, they've played 2 at home. They've won both. Wow. Bologna. These teams have never played in competitive games before. Bologna, founded in 1909 by Emilio Arnstein and a group of Italian and Swiss enthusiasts. They're one of the oldest top-flight clubs in Italy. And I don't think they've ever went broke and reconstituted themselves either.
I can't think of it, yeah.
Bologna were one of the first Italian clubs to professionalize their training methods. The legendary Hungarian coach Arpad Weiss led them to titles in the 30s. He introduced modern tactics, athletic preparation, way before it became a common thing. Golden era was the 30s and the 60s for Bologna, 7 Serie A titles. They are the ones who have won the only time it's ever happened. It almost did last year. If teams finish level on points at the top of Serie A, if 2 teams do, it doesn't go to goal difference or head-to-head. It goes to a playoff game. And it's only happened once in history. 1964, Bologna beat Internazionale in that game.
Wow.
Bologna won multiple Mitropa Cups. It's a precursor to UEFA competitions in the 30s. Also, the city is rooted in student culture. So students have always played a major role in the supporters' culture, a different vibe there for the I Rossoblu, the red and blues. Joey Saputo also owns them. That makes them a little crazy.
Uh-huh.
They are in strong form in the league. They're in 5th in Serie A. They're in 18th in the Europa League, so right in the middle. Only one loss in their last 15 matches in all competitions. They are the third best on the road in Serie A, and they are on the road here. So, Bologna and Celta Vigo, Europa League. I am going to pick... this is a tricky one, actually. I'm going to pick Celta Vigo. Bologna might be the most college football team in European soccer, Will. That is a fair aspect. And Iago Aspas is why I am picking Celta Vigo, because he is 108 years old and still kicking.
Seriously?
He's 38 years old. He's not 100. Did you see? I said he's 108 years old, and you said seriously?
Well, you should, might be like a club legend or something.
He is a club legend, but he's not still playing at 108.
No, I wasn't saying he was playing at 108, but like a dude's 108 years old, you got to tip your cap.
Alex, I don't know. Who are you picking?
Celta de Vigo.
You're picking Celta Vigo.
Yeah, because of the unbeaten form in the competition.
Okay. Next up, we go to the Ghana Premier League.
There you go.
Heart of Lions hosting Aduana Stars. We have no odds. Plus 100 for Heart of Lions, plus 125 for the draw, plus 150 for Aduana Stars. You're going to get all the viruses. Don't even look, John. Don't do it.
I'm trying, man.
Heart of Lions. They were founded in 2000 in the Volta region. They have climbed the pyramid. They are in promotion just a few years after they started. Before they emerged, that region of Ghana didn't really have teams in the top flight. Known for producing gifted athletes, especially in track and field and volleyball, but not in soccer. So now that has changed because of them. They became one of the standout teams of the mid-2000s in the Ghana Premier League. Runners-up in 2006. That's their highest ever top flight finish. And because of where they are, they have been a developmental side quite a bit with emerging players from the Volta region. Yes, Hutch, he is wearing an LA Aztecs hoodie.
Yep. Bob Rigby.
It is a remake.
Yeah, it is Ebbets Field Flannels. They had a sale that I could not resist on Black Friday. And when you can get this stuff for like 75% off, you're going to buy it.
True. Heart of Lions, they are in the lower half of the league in Ghana. Let's go to the opponents, Aduana Stars. They were founded in 1984. They got promoted to the top flight in 2009. They won the Premier League in their first season in 2009-2010. They added a second league title in 2017. It is not original, Hutch. That would have been wild.
No. And it would be under glass or, in a plastic or something.
Aduana Stars, I learned a new word. The Akan word for fire is Oja. And that's like a slogan for them. They're known as the Oja Boys, the Fire Boys.
Okay.
It reflects the spirit of their part of Ghana, Dorma Ahinkro. Pride, courage, belief in overcoming adversity. The motto of Oja is woven through everything that they do. Pre-match talks, all of it. Fans chant it. Like it's everything. So the Oja Boys of Aduana Stars against Heart of Lions. It's Heart of Lions. That is what they're known as. Not Hearts of Lions or Heart of Lions.
Yeah, it's United. Like RBI.
Heart of Lions.
Yeah, it's like RBI. Runs batted in. If it was a plural, it's...
The team, not the players. The team has the Heart of Lions. The players do not have Hearts of Lions. I hope they do. Then the collective would have the Heart of Lions.
Yes.
But anyway, I digress. What are we picking here? John, you go first.
I have no blanking clue, so I'm going draw.
That's how it goes. I am going to pick Oja.
Oh, that's what I figured.
Oja. Aduana Stars.
Because what you do is when you learn that what you're learning in a game where we don't have any odds, you learn about the history. And when you get to sit there and discuss Oja and add that to your vocabulary and to your being, I can understand that.
Yes. Florida State did win the NCAA Division
1-0. Yes, they
title. Good for Florida.
Hey, at least we won something this year.
That's true. Your football team was pretty crappy.
They're pretty crappy.
Saturday, St. Pauli hosting Heidenheim.
I love how you skipped over the day of the week that the Ghanaian game was.
I'm not stupid. St. Pauli, founded in 1910 in Hamburg. They are known for their counterculture identity. That's what they're known for the most. Skull and crossbone symbol that's turned the team into an international cultural brand. They've been kind of a yo-yo type of team quite a bit. Their connection to Hamburg's punk and alternative music scenes legendary. Bands like Die Totenhosen and Ketkar, they've performed at club fundraisers. Match day playlists go very heavy punk, which is interesting. Will you shut your mouth? Nicknames, they are known as the neighborhood kickers or the brown whites. The brown vice, I think that's correct. They are back in the Bundesliga. They won promotion last year. They're not doing so good. They're not doing so well in the Bundesliga at the moment. They are towards the bottom, as is their opponents, Heidenheim. Heidenheim, the oldest club that we have had on Picks of the Week this season. The club dates back to 1846 as part of a gymnastics club.
Okay.
Eventually evolved into their modern football form. They are one of the oldest sporting institutions in Germany. Heidenheim. And their manager, Frank Schmidt, he took charge in 2007.
Damn.
That's insane these days. I mean,
he's the Marty Schottenheimer of the Bundesliga.
Like, way past any of this. Like, this makes no sense. You've got Real Madrid wanting to fire Xabi Alonso after, 3 months. Frank Schmidt's been there since 2007.
The Bobby Bowden of the Bundesliga.
Took over in September. Even better, John. It's nothing like that. The club was in the 5th tier. He took over. He's led them through 4 promotions. They went from semi-pro, nothing, regional, nothing, all the way to the Bundesliga.
Good on him.
Never been talked about being fired. Never been talked about leaving. The longest managerial tenure in German professional football history. One of the longest worldwide. He is a Heidenheim native. That's why this is so different. Born in the town, he played for the team when they were a regional, semi-pro, nothing. And he's got them all the way up.
Native son has them all the way to the Bundesliga.
They earned their first promotion in 23. They have stayed up. We got bots wanting to come in because we're talking about Heidenheim. It happens. It's like, welcome to life on the internet. So, yes, these teams are not very good this season, though. Die Rot Blau, the Red Blues, that's Heidenheim. So, these are the 2 teams that are they the bottom 2 in the Bundesliga? Pull up the Bundesliga table real quick.
Heidenheim is 16th of 18th. St. Pauli is 17th.
Oh, there's somebody worse. Mainz. Mainz is even worse.
They're bad.
Well, they're not playing these 2 teams this week. So it is a bottom of the table clash in Germany.
Yep.
Your odds one more time. Minus 105 for St. Pauli. Plus 300 for Heidenheim. Draw plus 240. John.
Under normal circumstances, if Heidenheim, who has won 2 in a row, to hopscotch St. Pauli into the playoff spot, the relegation playoff spot, if it was a home match, I would say Heidenheim. But St. Pauli is just awful. They've lost 4 of 5. They had a draw last time out. So I don't think St. Pauli can get it all the way over the line. I think Heidenheim on the road can't do it on the road. And so I'm going to go draw in this one just because of the collision of those ideas.
I'm going draw as well. All right. I got another weird one for you in this one on Sunday.
Where are we going now?
We're going to Argentina.
Okay.
We are going to Atlético Rafaela hosting San Martín Formosa.
Okay.
The Argentine Torneo Federal A promotion playoff second leg. Atlético Rafaela leads 1-0 after the first leg. No odds on this one. So
darn.
Rafaela plus 100, plus 125 for the draw, plus 150 for San Martín Formosa. Now, I want to make sure. I believe this is 3rd division going up to the 2nd. The Argentine league structure does not really try to have it make any sense in terms of, Torneo Federal A. That would be this. No, it is the part of the regional 3rd level. Okay. I was correct. I need to give myself more credit. I knew that one. Atlético Rafaela They were founded in 1907 in Rafaela in Santa Fe.
Makes sense.
One of the oldest and most traditional clubs in the interior of Argentina. They are kind of the third one of Santa Fe. Colón and Unión are the two that are most known. Rafaela has been in the first division before. They were in the 2010s, and they got to play the Colóns and the Unións, and you got those regional games. Rafaela, a lot of players have come up from there and moved up into other bigger teams. They've been promoted several times to the top flight. They were a good mid-table team, counterattacking in the 2010s. But here is your mega deep dive in today's Pixel.
All right, I got to hear this.
Rafaela, the place in Santa Fe in Argentina. It is famous nationwide for the Autodromo Ciudad de Rafaela. It was founded in the 1950s, quickly becoming one of Argentina's premier auto racing venues. The circuit's massive oval layout, one of its few of its kind in South America, earned comparisons to Indianapolis. I think the straightaways are longer. Rafaela has long-standing identity as a speed capital. So they always try to play with Atlético Rafaela, the kind of speed, that kind of idea. 1971, USAC, which is the precursor to like IndyCar racing. They opened their season in 1971 at the Autodromo Ciudad de Rafaela.
Oh, wow.
They drew 40,000 spectators, even though AJ Foyt and Mario Andretti said, we ain't going. One of the finishers, veteran driver Bentley Warren, nearly died in a dramatic crash. His car hit oil at 200 miles an hour, slid, crashed, burst into flames, left him badly burned. Story at that time that came out, taken to the local hospital, Warren was told to drink lots of liquids. Quote, so I got a big bottle of beer and started drinking. Unquote. No, it gets better. The charter plane back to Indianapolis was delayed from taking off because Bill Simpson, who I guess was one of the like USAC people, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and so like the Simpson racing suits and the helmets, that's him.
Yeah. Well, Bill Simpson, the reason why the charter plane was delayed to take off, he was trying to talk a pretty blonde into moving to California with him.
I'm shocked.
Warren, who was badly burned and got drunk in the hospital, he had to sit in a middle seat with his heavily bandaged arms in an upright position.
Oh, man.
Mechanic Al Friedman asked all the officials sitting in first class if anyone would give up their seat. They said no.
No.
So he sat next to Boston Louie, he says, who Louis Seymour, he was a colorful character who fielded USAC cars for 30 years. So I'm sure there was lots of drinking and lots of stories. Warren did start in two Indy 500s. After nearly dying in Argentina. So Will says it's a wild looking track. It's like what if Martinsville corners, but Talladega straights.
Yes.
Like the description I saw, and I'm not an auto racing guy, was that the straightaways were longer than Indy and the turns were pretty banked.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funky.
Yeah.
And it was super fast.
Yeah. So looking at the layout, it is in every configuration, it is a longer track than Talladega.
Okay.
So it can I think Talladega is 2 3/4, 2.5, 2 3/4.
Yep.
Ciudad de Rafaela in any configuration is longer than 2 3/4 miles for a lap.
Okay.
So longer than Talladega, longer super speedways, and shorter and more banked turns 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I would have never guessed that there was auto racing in Argentina at this kind of a level. I would have never guessed that the precursor to IndyCar racing actually did a race there. And I would have never guessed that when the dude went to the hospital after being badly burned and he's told to drink liquids, he just drank beer. Now, he didn't have to wait. He got in fine. They just told him, you need to drink liquids. Okay, give me beer. And he drank it.
And because Bill Simpson was trying to pick up a woman.
The flight was late because he was trying to take an Argentine woman home with him.
I mean.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one side of this promotion playoff.
Thank you, Will. 2 3/4, 2 2/3, 2.67. Yeah.
San Martin Formosa. They were founded in 1941 in the city of Formosa. They are one of the most important teams in their region in the north. So they're the flagship club of Formosa province, a remote northern frontier region bordering Paraguay. So they are critical because of that. And because they're so far away from everybody, they have some of the longest away trips in Argentina, sometimes more than 1,500 kilometers. They'll travel by bus for over a day. They're just what they're known for. Rugged. They are known as El Franjeado, the striped one.
Okay.
I like that a lot. Franjeado. So these teams have played a decent bit. There's not really a rivalry. They're not in the same region at all. First leg, Atletico Rafaela won that on the road 1-0. Rafaela will host the second leg. They host San Martin Formosa. What are you picking?
Rafaela.
You're picking Rafaela.
932.05 miles is 1,500 kilometers.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That is from where to where?
Let me figure that one out.
How far is that from Atlanta?
So Atlanta, 932 miles from Atlanta. So 932 miles.
Yeah, Hutch, that did kind of feel like a Bentner story about, I just badly burned. I need to drink liquids. Give me a giant bottle of beer.
Roughly in the vicinity of St. Louis or perhaps somewhere central Arkansas, southern Missouri.
Okay. So, I mean, like, it's a long way, but, like, you know.
Yes.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, 1,400 miles from Atlanta to Denver, to give you an idea.
Okay. What are you picking in this match, John?
Rafaela.
I'm picking a draw.
So 928 miles northeast of Atlanta is Fenway Park.
Okay.
So you're going from Atlanta to Fenway Park, and you're still 4 miles short.
That's a long way. I'm picking a draw. I think it will be tight. I think Rafaela will hold on, and they will get promoted. The Speed Demons. And then we're going to finish up.
You were going to buy so much gear or have it made.
No, I need to get some gear from the Bashondara Kings because they're the ones who helped me win last week.
Oh, see?
So, yes. We're going to finish up with Liga MX, the second leg of the Apertura final. Tigres and Toluca. And I'm actually surprised there are odds on this because it's the second leg. They play on Thursday.
Right.
We're doing the Sunday game, the one in Monterrey. Plus 101 for Tigres, draw plus 240, Toluca plus 275. Tigres, they represent the Universidad Autónoma de Nuevo León, UANL. University-backed project, kind of like Pumas, but they have become one of the giants as of late. They did win their first Liga MX title in 77-78. Tuca Ferretti has brought them to becoming a powerhouse, and they've built on that after his time ended there. Multiple league titles. They reached the Libertadores final in 2015. Closest any Mexican club came during their time playing in Libertadores. Decade of 2011 to 2020, they won multiple league titles. They won the Campeón de Campeones titles. They won the CONCACAF Champions League in 2020. They followed that by a run to the 2020 FIFA Club World Cup final. Here's something cool about Tigres that I did not know. El Volcán, another volcano. That's their stadium, El Volcán. Their match days, the players take the field for warm-ups to El Chico del Apartamento 512 by Selena.
Okay.
It is a tradition that blends the musical identity of northern Mexico with kind of their family-driven atmosphere. It's not like a stadium song, but it's become part of that pregame ritual. Kickoff approaches, then things start to shift. They lean into We Will Rock You by Queen.
Okay.
Everybody goes nuts. The volcano erupts, all the things. Obviously, they are known as Tigres because they are Tigres, so the nicknames are kind of easy for them. Let's go to Toluca. Here's your thing about Toluca that I did not know. One, they're one of the oldest continuously operating clubs in Mexico. Two, one of their nicknames that I had not seen before, Los Choriceros. It comes directly from the region's well-known chorizo production. So they are the chorizo makers.
Right.
And they are known for the chorizo verde, the green chorizo.
Okay.
Serrano pepper, cilantro, spinach, and local herbs that give them a distinctive green color. I have not had this. I really want to. I am excited. Toluca, they have the chorizo stalls all around. So the choriceros.
This just means we have to go to the stadium.
Well, I want to go to the stadium anyway, but this game is not there. This game is in Monterrey at El Volcán.
It's El Volcán.
It is Tigres hosting Toluca, second leg. We don't know what happened in the first leg yet. That's why picks of the week can be hard sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to try to pontificate as to what you think is going to happen in the second leg. What do you think?
I think that Tigres gets the sweep. I think they win the first leg, and then I think that they put it away in the second leg. Dominant performance by Tigres both legs. I'm going Tigres.
You are going Tigres. I want chorizo verde. I'd never heard of it, but that sounds so good. Like I need to find this. I'm gonna have to talk to my friend Humberto here at the brew house.
See?
And know about it. Toluca has the Diablos Rojos kind of vibe going, Hutch, but now I really like that they are the chorizo makers. I really like that idea for them. I want to lean into that identity. I need to pick something. I think Tigres are going to win the title, and I think they're going to have to do it in the second leg because I think it'll be a draw or a loss in the first leg. So I'm going Tigres to win the second leg.
Okay.
Your prop bet for this week, the number of goals scored in the 18 Champions League matches this week, and I will give you a range of 5. So it's 18. You're going to look at the games and try to, like, it's 18 games. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the games.
Well, this one's going to be high scoring and this one's not.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
And we're going to sit here for 5 hours to figure this out. I don't know where that voice came from, but I'm just going to roll with it.
And we liked it.
Not really. Kind of, I guess.
Just talk about going uphill both ways in the snow and do it in that voice.
No. Just pick a number.
No.
I'm going to pick in 18 games. I'm going to pick 43 goals.
Okay.
So write that down.
43?
43 goals. You get a plus or minus 5. I didn't watch Jimmy Neutron. Okay. I mean, I still could have like assimilated it, and that's where the voice came from. But yeah, I did. It didn't directly come from me. I don't know. It's not really one of my normal like silly voices. I don't usually.
No,
go
it's
there.
not.
It just happened. Welcome. One day, John will figure out a number.
I think day 2 is going to have more than day 1.
That doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with.
Well, no, but I think you're going to get a slow start out of day 1 in the league phase.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, like Karabag and Ajax, I think that one could have some. I think that Villarreal and Copenhagen could have a lot of goals.
Okay.
I think that Arsenal and Club Bruges could have a lot of goals.
So this is what kills me. So John, so often when he makes his picks for picks of the week that have been very bad this season, last place bad, he just picks random things based off what other people are picking, not what he thinks is actually going to happen. Now he is trying to actually base something.
And you see the level of success that I'm having to trying to actually think through things instead of sitting there and just picking a damn draw every week when I could win.
No, but no. You're not going to get away with that one because I've told you multiple times you need to pick what you think is going to happen, not pick based off what other people are doing.
But then if I pick off of what other people are doing, it's like John, doing the Showcase Showdown with Price is Right. I'm picking the $1 more so I can win the showcase. Have
you won the showcase?
I have not won the showcase. I know somebody who has.
Yes.
Nikki Noto Palmer has actually won on the Price is Right. She won a large television.
That's a good attempt to change the subject, but yes.
So
does she still have that television?
It broke the other day.
Oh, that's no good.
Like 12 years after she picked it up, it finally broke.
That's no good.
I'll go 47.
47.
I think more goals are going to be scored day 2 than day 1, but I think it's going to be a cavalcade of goals in day 2 to get it north of your 43. So, bleh.
Fair enough. Whatever. If it finishes anywhere in between the two, we'll both get it.
Hey, here's Ader Militao and his wife.
Okay, what are they up to?
They're in Miami a couple days ago.
Yeah, he's hurt.
So they're in Miami. I guess they were watching the MLS Cup.
Good. If I'm hurt, I want to go somewhere too. If I'm hurt,
at the LIV nightclub in Miami.
Okay, that's cool. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas Bentner hasn't done anything interesting.
Oh, we do have an update on the family swap between Militao and Pereira.
Oh, I forgot about that. So tell me more, John.
According to Idman and Biz,
okay,
Brazilian football stunned by unusual family swap between Militao and Pereira.
Well, yes, that would be unusual.
Idman.biz is reporting what we talked about, marrying each other's former spouses. The family swap has sparked widespread discussion in Brazil. According to Yes. And so according to reports, and we mentioned it last week, Leo Pereira recently married model and blogger Carolina Lima, who was previously in a relationship with Militao and has a daughter, Cecilia, with him. Meanwhile, Eder Militao married Pereira's ex-wife, Tanya Castro, mother of Elena and Mateo. As a result, Pereira became the stepfather of Militao's daughter. And so they go through. Fans jokingly note on social media that the two defenders are now connected, not only on the pitch, but also in family matters. That comes from our friends at idman.biz.
They're in the same group chat.
They're connected.
Well, they kind of have to be. Let's go to Mauro Icardi news.
We have some?
There's always news when it comes to the Icardis.
Tanya Castro, by the way, has 1.4 million followers on the IG.
Yes.
Right there. And she only follows like 1,100 people.
She did not get her follower base because of the follow back rule. No. That did not have anything to do with why she has so many followers, John.
There's your intimate. There's your Olin Mills photo shoot that they had the other day.
Probably a little more expensive than that. Yes. Galatasaray are looking for a striker to replace Mauro Icardi because his contract's up at the end of the year. Santiago Jimenez, his name has come up because he's going to leave Milan because he ain't playing. And they're not playing in Europe, so they don't need to rotate a whole lot. So he's probably going to go. That's one thing when it comes to Mauro Icardi. So things don't look great for him sticking around at Galatasaray. He was sidelined for a long period of time. He's back. Let's see. Anything?
Aren't pop-ups lovely?
Yes, there's a bunch of them. A whole bunch of
Level
them.
3.
Seriously. They will sell him in January, according to reports, if they get an offer in January. Also, one of his teammates, Metehan Baltaci, Galatasaray defender, was arrested as part of the gambling situation in Turkey.
Oh, yeah.
So defender for Galatasaray, one of Mauro Icardi's teammates, he was arrested amid an investigation that also involves Fenerbahce players, referees, and officials for illegal betting
like
and
600 officials or something.
It's a whole bunch of people. He was detained, accused of placing bets that directly harmed his own team. Betting related to his club's matches. Him, a forward for Fenerbahce, another
I just
individual.
wonder if he was like Pete Rose and was really bad at it, or if he actually made money.
No. Some second division officials, a bunch of stuff, all kinds of stuff happening. Istanbul court ordered pretrial detention for 7 referees and for the president of one of the clubs. Now this is really starting to ramp up. That's where it stands right now. So that has nothing to do with Mauro Icardi. He did not do it.
So this was Icardi adjacent.
This is Icardi adjacent. This is what happens when you're around Mauro Icardi.
He just rubs off on you.
Just ridiculousness rubs off. Speaking of ridiculousness, what is Wanda Icardi up to these days? Let's see if it's anything. Luckily, it's not. She's just, I guess, still hosting MasterChef in Argentina.
Okay.
No silliness there.
That's disappointing.
No, it's honestly for the best.
Well, yeah, it's for the best, but for our purposes, it's disappointing.
I guess I will actually take it. What do we have here, Ricky? Tell me what it is, if you can tell me, because I can't click that link. I just put the link on the screen if you do it. That might be part of why Santiago Jimenez would be leaving Milan. That is possible. That is possible. What else is happening? John was cheating. That's not a surprise.
Why was I cheating?
We ain't stopping arguing. That ain't happening. Son Heung-min is doing something.
The Son Heung-min thing.
Yeah, that one is kind of a weird one.
Yes, we talked about that a little bit this morning, and we were trying to save it for the show.
All right. Well, I did not dig into the story too deep. I saw it come up. We will go to the BBC and their recap of this. A South Korean court has sentenced a woman who blackmailed Son Heung-min to 4 years in prison. She's in her 20s. Her accomplice, a man in his 40s, were found guilty of blackmailing Sonny by saying she was pregnant with his child.
Mm-hmm.
She approached Son sometime last year, claiming she was carrying his child, when in fact she did not know whether that was the case. A Seoul district court heard, according to local media. She extorted $200,000 from him.
300 million won.
Well, yes. Threatened to go public with the allegation if he did not comply. She spent the money on luxury and designer goods. She portrays herself as a victim. Her claims do not fully match the facts. She planned the crime thoroughly. The woman's accomplice, who had threatened Son 15 times to get the money, was handed a 2-year jail term for attempted blackmail. They demanded more money this year. He went to the police. The woman and her accomplice abused Son's celebrity for their crime. Son appeared to have gone through intense mental anguish after the case was reported in the media.
Well, and the thing is, so
there's a lot of things in this one, John. I don't know where you're going to go, and I'm kind of scared.
No. Initially, so in the first round, so a woman in her 20s, known by her surname Yang, was indicted. So making the pregnancy, receiving 300 million won, $205,000 in return for her silence.
Yes.
So then they try to follow it up. So second time around, in return for her silence, okay, I'm gonna come after you a second time. You would think that you're going to chase after as much money as you tried to chase after, if not more. Hey, we're going down this road. I think we're gonna try and charge you more to stay silent. They put a number that was 1/4 of the number that they initially got. So basically,
they wanted 50 grand.
Yeah, they basically wanted another 50 grand instead of going the other way for round 2.
Bigger. I mean, they got popped either way.
But I'm just saying, I'm talking ineptitude of a criminal here.
I mean, they got popped either way.
Yeah, but it's like first time through, it's $205,000. So then the second time around, instead of asking for more, you ask for 1/4 of that. No, we still have the information, but what we're going to do, we're only going to charge you 1/4 of what we did last time. That seems counterintuitive to what criminals would do in a situation like this. The longer that you want to keep a story going, the more money that you would want to extort, I would think.
They wanted 50,000 more.
But instead of it, give me a figure that matches. Give me something that's, hey, we still got this stuff. Give me another 300 million won, another $205,000. No, we're going to cut you a discount because we've been telling the story for a while. We only want 1/4 of what we did the first time.
I think this is why your adding during picks of the week at times is a little faulty. This is weird logic.
But if I'm a criminal, shouldn't I be asking for more money?
What do you think is more likely to happen if you've already gotten $200,000 and you're lying?
Hey,
do you think you're going to get 500,000 the next time around, or do you think you might be able to get 50 more?
But are you going to do 50 more, like 4 more times? It seems like it's too much effort.
I'm just going to leave it alone because I don't even know where your logic is.
Do you want to do 50,000 4 more times to get to the 200 that you got the first time?
You already got 200.
What I'm saying, but that's like a second time around. Okay, another 200. Just, hey, you got 200 the first time, you sit there, it's like, yeah, I want 200 the next time. That's where I would think you would go in this. And said, no, tell you what, we'll cut you a deal. We only want 50 this time. We got the information. We still got the stuff. We can still tell the story, but we only want 1/4 of what we got from you the first time. But then you'd have to do it 3 more times to even make up to the money that you got from the first hit.
Why are you trying to make it up to get to what you got the first time?
I'm just saying on average you would have to do that. I'm not saying that that's what you would do, but it's like, why are you only asking for 1/4 the second time around? Hey, or you should have undersold the first time and sit there and just give me 100,000. Then you go 100,000, 100,000, 100,000 instead of 205 and then 50. You're betting against yourself.
No, you're not.
As a criminal, you're betting against yourself by only asking for 1/4 the second time around. Doesn't sound like very confident criminals to me.
Well, they're not very good because they got busted.
They're
anyway.
not. They got busted. But what I'm saying is, like, look, if you're going through the economics of this, be consistent with it. Give me 100, 100, 100, 100 instead of 205 and then 50. You're cutting the guy a deal. Why am I cutting the guy a deal when I allegedly have this thing hanging over him and he's making millions and millions of dollars? If I'm these people are bad at extortion. Oh my God, I'm gonna cut you a deal. It's like extortion. It's like extortion from Dollar Tree or something.
Will has a thought.
And about making an investment and expecting regular small returns.
You broke his brain, Will. Thank you.
But it's like, okay, so regular small returns. So you've had to do it 3. Okay,
He's
quarterly, we're going to ask you for 50,000.
He's going again.
Like I said, it just seems counterintuitive to me to ask for less and then have to ask for less more times to string the guy along. I would think that you would string the individual along at the same amount that you got the first time. Hey, I got 205,000 out of the guy. Why can't I get 205 more thousand?
Okay. First off, one, it's a good thing you're not a criminal, John. You would not survive that world. Two,
I could have told you that.
I got nothing. You already got a large amount of money for your crime to start with. You're getting greedy, which is what busted you, which was stupid. So it doesn't.
But you only
matter.
got greedy at 20. You got 20 at 75% off. You got greedy.
It doesn't matter what amount you got greedy for. Getting greedy is what busted you. You could have walked
doing
away
the first thing busted you in the first place.
No, actually, it didn't. That's the point. You got your money. You were fine. Nothing was going to happen because you were going to keep your mouth shut. That's what the money was for. Well, then you got greedy. Then he went to the cops. Then you got busted. So it doesn't matter the amount of it, and asking for more, it doesn't really matter in this case. You're not going to get the same amount because you already got an amount for committing this crime and blackmailing the man, and you already got this amount of money. When you're getting greedy over the top, it's more likely you'll get a little bit of money to stay quiet rather than a whole bunch more. Sonny, to his credit, didn't want to give any more money.
Good for him.
We don't know why he gave the money in the first place. That has not been mentioned in any of the news articles that I have seen. So I do not know if there are any valid claims to any of this in any form or fashion. That would be pure speculation. That part's being talked about. But he did give these people money the first time around, and a lot of it. So it is what it is. She's going to jail. Dude's going to jail for a little bit less time. And it was dumb to ask for more money when you already got away with the crime the first time. That's the moral of the story. But that'll do it for this edition of Soccer Over There. We've learned that John's in last place in Picks of the Week.
Yeah.
He would be a very bad criminal.
No doubt.
We've learned that Xabi Alonso should not be fired by Real Madrid, but probably will be.
And a lot of cool backgrounders on teams in South America.
We have learned that in Argentina, when they tell you to drink fluids, the crazy race car driver from the United States will grab a large bottle of beer instead.
50 years ago.
Yes, probably would still happen today. Come on, welcome to Soccer Over There. Welcome to Argentina. Welcome to crazy race car drivers. That'll do it. SDH AM coming up all the rest of the week at 9:05. What do you have in store for people tomorrow?
It is Chris Doran, longtime play-by-play voice of Columbus Crew. We're going to talk Wilfred Nancy. We're going to talk about succession. Who's going to be who's in consideration perhaps to be the new head coach for Columbus. We'll talk about Major League Soccer. Columbus obviously didn't make it as far as they would have liked in the season, so we'll kind of do a bit of a post-mortem on Columbus Crew, and we'll go over all of the other action that has happened in college soccer. We have the NAIA finals. We have extended invitations to the winning coaches. One of them who got the SDH bump today, by the way, Grandview of Iowa's head coach comes on, David Groves. And he goes on and he defeats WVU Tech. So we have invited them back to come back in. Kaiser goes to the shootout, and they get the win over Cumberlands of Kentucky on the women's side. We have invited the Kaiser head coach to come on as well. So we will see if they want a post gold medal bump for winning on the women's side, but we'll see if Grandview comes back in. But we're going to go over all the college soccer. We'll talk about what happened tonight with Florida State winning a championship. We'll get you ready for Champions League, all the news that's fit to print, all the other things going on. See if there's any kind of an update on Mo Salah. But yeah, we're going to start with Chris Doran, Major League Soccer, going to college, get you into Champions League, move you forward there. 9:05 Eastern time. Book 'em, Dano. Aloha.
There's no updates on Mo Salah because he ain't in Italy with the squad. The last thing on the show, the extreme SDH bump that we gave to one of our teams in Picks of the Week a while back from Bolivia, Totora Real Oruro. 10-1 win over the weekend against Blooming of Bolivia.
The Blooming blowout.
It was it was 2 goals in 27 minutes. Then Blooming scored their goal, so it was 2-1. And then the floodgates opened. It was 4-1 at halftime, or 5-1 at halftime, and then 5 more in the second half. Blooming did get a red for a dog so in the 41st minute. And yeah, it was a very bad day for Blooming. But our boys, Oruro, with the 10-1 win. That's what happens when you're on Picks of the Week.
Boom.
Yes, that is exactly how it goes. I'm trying to think of anything else we have coming up this week. Atlanta soccer tonight, tomorrow evening. That's at 10 o'clock on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app. And I said it there, and some of you people who don't always listen on AST, we got ratings news last week, and it was awesome. Atlanta soccer tonight amongst adults, all adults, ages 25 to 54. Atlanta soccer tonight is winning its time slot in Atlanta radio.
That's awesome.
Beating all the music stations, all the talk stations, all the sports stations. It is the number one show on Atlanta radio in its Tuesday night 10 p.m. time slot.
Love it.
Which is insane. If anybody tries to tell you that Atlanta's not a soccer city, that would tell you otherwise. So AST tomorrow night. No intersection this week. We are off till the start of next year because of bowl games and Falcons on Thursday and all the things. So AST tomorrow night, and I think that's actually it. I can actually not run around like a lunatic this week. Last week was crazy. Thanks to everybody who checked out all of our stuff. We saw you all in Decatur. We saw you all here. We saw you all at NoFo in Gainesville. Fun time to close things out on Friday. Really good storylines coming out of this World Cup draw. I'm excited to get everything rolling as we get closer to 2026. But we'll be back from here with soccer over there next week. Y'all have a good rest of the week, and we'll see you soon. Adios.